Alright, what if now you are given the binomial of this kind or this type where it begins with 1, or it's a fraction, or it's under the root? How do you find them? So questions like this say expand. It's just say expand. So say expand. Expand, we have 1 minus then 2x to the power 3 and find its validity, and they find its validity. So how do you do that? 1, so if the binomial begins with 1, always you use the other formula to expand. Don't use the other one with combinations, no. So start with this can be equal to, this same binomial is equal to 1 plus then n then a. This is your a in this case, it's not 1, this is your a now. Then including the sign, then plus, then we're going to have n, then n minus 1 over, then we're going to have 2 factorial, then a squared plus then n minus 1, again n minus 2 over 3 factorial a to the power 3 plus dash dash, keep going like that. So let's just replace in the values. So we have 1 plus our n is 3, then our a it's negative 2x, this is our a, plus then our n is 3, then 3 minus 1 over 2 factorial, then our x is negative 2x squared. So we are expanding this value, then plus, then our n is 3 over, meaning it has to be raised to the power 3. That's raised to the power 3, just like this. That's where we're going to end. Then 3 minus 1, again 3 minus 2 over 3 factorial, then negative 2x to the power 3 plus dash dash. So this now gives us, we have 1 plus, sorry, it's minus 3 times negative 2, it's negative 6x, then plus, then 3 minus 1 it's so 3 minus 1 it's 2, 2 times 3 it's 6, 6 times so we're going to get 6 over 2 factorial, then we're going to get, this is negative 2x squared, this is same as negative 2 squared, again x squared. That's what it means, this squares for these two guys. So we're going to get this as negative 2 times negative 2, for negative 2 squared it's positive 4. So we're going to have 4x squared, then plus, we come this side, which is 3 minus 1 it's 2, 3 minus 2 it's 1, 1 times 2 it's 2, 2 times 3 it's 6. Going to have 6 over 3 factorial, then this is negative 2 to the power 3, which is same as negative 8, then x to the power 3. So we're going to have this as negative 8x to the power 3 plus dash dash dash. So this now gives us 1 minus then 6x, then 2 factorial, it's same as 6 over then 2 times 1, then we have 4x squared plus 6, then we have 3 times 2 times 1, that's 3 factorial, multiply this by negative that plus dash dash. So this gives us 1 minus, then we have 6x, 2 into 6 it's 3, then 3 times 4 we're going to have positive 12x squared plus 3 into that it's 2, then 2 into 2 again it's 1, 1 times that we're going to just now have negative 18x to the power 3 plus dash dash dash. Then we've expanded, so we've expanded this binomial. This is of ascending powers of x, because the power of x is increasing by 1. Here it's x to the power 0, x to the power 1, x to the power 2, x to the power 3. Then done. Then how do you find the validity? When they say find its what? Validity. So the condition for this formula says that x must be less than what? Must be less than it must be less than 1. That's what it means. Meaning that you get the value, which is our x. Our x is the same one here. So you have to get this same value, which is our x, or our x is a. In short, you can even write a if you want. Say a must be less than equal to what? That. And what does this mean? This means that you have to start with negative 1 less than this value that is there. A again is also less than what? Positive of this value. That's what it means. So how do you do that? So the validity of this function that we have, it will be negative 2x negative 2x is less than what? Less than 1, because you have to just write this same thing here. That's its validity. And then we can now say negative 1 should be less than negative 2x should be less than positive 1. Then you have to make sure that x becomes just alone here. Then divide both sides by negative 2, even this side negative 2, even this side negative 2. So this cancels, and this now gives us negative negative is positive, so 1 over 2 should be less than x, then negative into that should be less than negative half. So this is impossible. How can a positive half less than x, but x again is less than by negative half? So you have to do it the other way around. So you can now say negative half, you start with a smaller number, should be less than x, then followed by the bigger number, should be less than by positive value. So that is the validity of that function, and that's how you can find its validity as well. Okay, let's now go and do the next one. So the next one now says, let me just write it down on the same board. It says expand. So saying expand 1 over 1 plus x. So when it's in a fraction form or rational form, how do you do it like that? How do you do it like that? So we can now say expand this one. You have to change it first. So let's change this one into the expansion, the binomial expansion, because it's a fraction. So you just get all these things at the bottom, they multiply it by that at the top. So let's say 1 times all these things, we just say 1 plus x, but everything, this whole thing here, it has the power of 1, so it has to be now raised to the power negative. So then we said if it has if a binomial begins with 1 or it's in a negative power, you have to solve it using this binomial which I've solved it. So we can expand this one by now saying this equal to 1 plus na plus then n minus 1 over 2 factorial, then a squared plus then n minus 1, n minus 2, then a to the power 3 over 3 factorial plus dash dash. You can say now this as 1 plus n, it's negative 1, multiplied by our a, it's positive x, plus then our n, it's negative 1, then negative 1 minus 1 over 2 factorial, our a, it's x, then you square it, plus then negative 1, our n, again negative 1 minus 1, then negative 1 minus 2 over 3 factorial, then we are going to have x to the power 3 plus dash dash dash. So this gives now us 1, then positive times negative, it's negative, then x, negative 1 times x is that. Then we have plus, then negative, so negative 1, negative 1, if they are both negatives, you have to add the numbers. So 1 plus 1, 2, we maintain the negative sign, negative times 1, so I'm going to write this as negative 1, then negative 2 over 2 factorial, then x squared, plus same here, negative 1 and negative 2 and negative 3 over 3 factorial, then x to the power 3 plus dash dash. So now this gives us 1 minus x, then negative times negative is positive, so 2, so we're going to have plus 2 times x, we're going to have 2x squared over 2 factorial, plus then negative times negative positive, positive 2 times negative 3, it's negative 6, then x to the power 3 over 3 factorial plus dash dash. So you can now say 1 minus x, then plus, then 2 factorial will just cancel with that, because 2 factorial is 2 times 1, so just means x plus, then negative 6, x to the power 3 over, then 3 times 2 times 1 plus dash dash. So our value now becomes 1 minus x plus x squared plus 3 into that, it's 2, then 2 into that cancel, so just mean with the negative x to the power 3 plus dash dash dash. So that's our expansion that we have. So we have the first term, second term, third up to fourth term. This is also ascending powers of x. The power is increasing by 1. Then if they ask you to find the validity is straightforward for this one as well. So I just said the validity is x should be less than 1. So now just because here we have 1 plus x into the power negative, so just get this one, that's a validity. including the sign it has. So we just get x there, which now say start with -1, should be less than x and should be less than positive of that. Then it's done. That's its validity. So that's how you can do this function of binomial expansions. Let's now do the one with the square root, then see how we can expand them. Then we can now combine square root, binomial, and also we do the other one, which is the partial fractions. So it also says, the last one, it says expand, then we have square root of, then 1 minus 3x, and find its validity. So this one, you have to change it. So if you have square root of 1 minus 3x, you have to change it into a binomial. So square root means half, so it can be written as 1 minus 3x, everything to the power half. So if you have a square root of a, this is same as a to the power half. Square root means half, so this whole thing to the power square root, which is half, which becomes a binomial. When the power is a fraction, you still use the same formula, but again it also begins with 1. So this can be expanded using 1 plus, then n, a plus, and n minus 1, then 2 factorial, a squared plus n minus 1, n minus 2, then 3 factorial, then a to the power 3 plus dash dash. So this now gives us 1 plus our n is half, which is 1 over 2, multiplied by our a. So our a, it's this whole thing including the negative, which is negative what? 3x. Then plus our n, it's 1 over 2, then open bracket 1 over 2 minus 1, everything divided by 2 factorial, then negative 3x, then everything must be squared, plus we come to the other one, which would now be n is 1 over 2, again 1 over 2 minus 1, again 1 over 2 minus 2, then our a, it's negative 3x, negative 3x to the power 3, then everything divided by 3 factorial plus dash dash. So now this can give us 1 over 2 multiplied by negative 3x. We're going to get negative 3x over 2 plus then 1 over 2. So 1 over 2 minus 1, it's same as negative 1. 1 over 2 minus 1, it gives us negative 1, negative half. So negative half again multiplied by positive half gives us negative 1 over 4. So here on top here, this times that, we're going to get negative 4, negative 1 over 4. Then this negative 1 over 4 multiplied by negative 9. So we're going to get negative 1 over 4. Sorry, we're going to have negative 1 over 4. Then this negative 3x to the power 2 is same as negative 3 squared, again x squared. So which we're going to get 9. Multiply this same thing by 9x squared, then everything divided by 2 factorial, then plus, then we come here, we're going to have 1 over 2 minus 1, it's negative half, then negative half times negative half times half, it's negative 1 over 4, times again 1 over 2 minus 2, 1 over 2 minus 2, common denominator, so it's a 2 into 2, it's 1, 1 times 1, it's 1 minus 1 into 2, 2 times that is 4. So we're going to get negative 3 over 2. Okay, so here we're going to get, so if you do this times this, it's this, then this, it's negative 3 over 2. Then once we get this, now we're going to get negative it will be positive. 3 over 4 times 2, it's 8. Again we multiply by, this is negative 3 to the power 3, then x to the power 3. That's what this means. This 3 is for these two. It's for both values of x and the negative 3. So this is 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So you multiply this by negative 27 x to the power 3. So again 3 times 27, you get what value you get. So say now 3 times 27, you get 81. Okay, so here we're just getting now 81 over 81, that we're going to have 81 over 8. So we're going to get negative 81 over 8, then x to the power 3. That's the last one. So now this gives us 1 minus 3x over 2, Then this other one, 1 over 4 times 9, it's just we are going to have negative 9x squared over 4, again over 2 factorial here, plus, then this other one, oh sorry, this is 3 factorial, so we're going to get this now as a negative 8, 1 x to the power 3 over 8, again over 3 factorial. So this can now be equal to 1 minus 3x squared, over 2, minus this one, 2 can go into 4, which is 2. We're going just to have now 9x squared over 2, plus, then this other one is same as in negative 81x to the power 3, and you multiply this times that. You just have to multiply this times that, or you can say divide this by what? 3 times 8 is 24, then plus dash dash. So now this can be 1 minus 3x over 2 minus 9 over 2 x squared plus negative 81x to the power 3 over 24 plus dash dash dash. So that's how you can expand that function. Then let's find its validity. So the validity of this function, you just get this value inside there, then just get this number which has x. So can I say the validity is negative 3x should be less than 1. Then let's begin with negative 1 should be less than negative 3x less than positive 1. Then divide both sides by negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. So this cancels. Negative negative is positive. 1 over 3 should be less than x. Then negative 1 over 3. Then just change it, the smaller one be in front. Negative 1 over 3 is less than x, and positive be greater than x. That's its validity. Then you are done. So that's how you expand, and that's how you deal with binomial expansion.